we're just going to do a quick little run through of how to make sure that your alignment's well set up. So best way to start, just pop a hand on the front and a hand on the back of your pelvis. We're going to find a nice neutral position for your pelvis. Before you do that, in fact, just make sure that your hip is above your ankle. A lot of people whose posture's a bit off will find that their pelvis is more over their toes, like this, with the bum tucked under. So the first thing to do, just make sure that the hip bone is above the ankle bone. Then we're going to just roll through your pelvic tilting, so just allow yourself to roll the pelvis under, feeling like the end of that movement. So imagine if your pelvis is full of water, this is where the water would all spill out the back. You can see how I'm quite flat and tucked under here. Then we're going to roll the other way, so rolling all the way forward, so it feels like your bum's really sticking out and there's a curve here in your back. Now at this point here, you're going to feel like if the water was in the pelvis, it would be spilling out the front. Go through a few times of that until you get really familiar with the two different ends of the movement. So anterior tilt, posterior tilt, and then we're going to find the middle ground where it would feel like as though the water wouldn't spill if it was in the pelvis. So you're going to find that there's still a little bit of a curve, like there's length through your glutes here. So if you're normally a bit tucked under this, it's going to probably feel a bit strange to be here. It will feel like you're sticking out your bum. That's fine, that's normal. And likewise, if you're normally here, it might just feel like you're really tucking under. But what you want to just check for, to know that you're in the right position, is if you put a finger inside your belly button and another one there on the pubic bone, close your eyes, you will be able to find that you can more or less draw a straight line between those 2 points. That will help you to know you're in the right position. Then, once you've found that neutral pelvis, then I'm going to get you to keep your hand here on the pubic bone, right at the front of your pelvis. And then take another hand onto your chest. Now, for a lot of people, their chest is going to be a little bit upwards and leaning back, or they might be a little bit hunched over. What you want to find is that, again, it feels as though this hand up here is facing straight forwards, and that this hand is not behind the lower hand. So again, if you find this hand is below the lower hand, then just bring it forwards until they match up. And at the beginning, if you're tending to hang back here, that's going to feel really, really strange. It's going to feel a bit like you're falling over. So at the beginning, it really helps to have a mirror so you can kind of have a look and see yourself line up. So you might start here, and then with a little bit of correcting, you're suddenly here, and it feels weird. But when you look at the mirror, you can see that actually now you're correct. To put the final icing on the cake, neck alignment. So to come tall, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll kind of look upwards, but actually that's not quite right. I want you to imagine you've got a piece of string coming from the very back of your head, and that you're coming tall here. So the ears are almost coming backwards a little bit, and that you're growing tall through your spine. You'll even feel your spine lengthen out. And then just in this position, let the weight be evenly distributed between your feet. This is the first part. So if you're only practicing today on correcting your alignment and just being able to sort of find how to stack those bits, then you would stop there or maybe rewind and repeat this video. If, however, you're going to now go on to practicing moving a little bit with this alignment, continue on. So with this nice alignment you've got, now what I want you to do is to place a hand on the pubic bone and a hand onto the chest, so that you can make sure that these hands will tell you if this happens, or if that happens, or if you shifted another part. So basically it's going to help you, it's going to give you a little bit of a guide to where you are. Now, what I want you to do here is now we're going to just go forward only from the ankles, so you're like a skier. So what that looks like, you see, it's my feet are pointing forwards, my torso doesn't change, but I'm moving into a slight angle forwards, and it's from the ankle. Now, you only go forward as far as you can where you can control this alignment here. If you start to come forwards and you just can't get any further than say here without this happening or this happening, that's where you stop. Okay, you want to feel that that weight is evenly distributed between the feet, and you will find that your calf muscles will be on a stretch. This will help to create a bit more length and range of movement here. Now, once you're here, I'm going to get you to think about breathing wide into your ribcage. Let your belly be soft. Breathe out to the sides of your lower ribcage. And as you breathe out for twice as long as that you breathed in. So in your head, that would be like a count of 2 or a count of 3 inwards. and then out for a count of 4 or a count of 6, depending on how long you breathed in for. What that will do is it will start to teach your nervous system to learn about breathing in this alignment, and this slightly forward position is going to start tricking your brain into learning that back here isn't the midline. It's going to start teaching it a different extreme so that when you come back to the middle, it doesn't feel so weird anymore to be upright. Okay, so you're coming forward into the skiers position. Keep those hands there so you're in that perfect alignment. Breathe in for 3, 2, 1, and out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 3, 2, 1, out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to bring you to the middle. So again, now you're going to be hip above ankle. This, you see, nothing's changed here for me. All of this has stayed the same. So here again, we're going to take a couple of breaths. So breathing in for 3, out for 6, or if you find that the 3, 6 is a little bit too long for you, just do 2, 4. And again, another breath. Always sending that air more into the sides and the back of the rib cage so that you're not breathing up and down into the upper chest. And then we're going to challenge it a little bit more. So I'm now going to get you to keep the feet connected to the ground, keep your alignment perfect like this, and you're going to come backwards. So you can see I'm just tilting backwards. Again, you're going to find your chest wants to come up, so only go as far as you can control it. This one is going to feel much harder to breathe in, but I want you to do the same thing as you did in the others. So breathing in for a 2 or for 3, and out for 4 or for 6. Do a second breath here. Then come back to the middle, so you're straight above, so hip above ankle. Carry on with your breath. Use those hands to make sure you're still in the perfect alignment. If you found yourself tucking under, just correct it. If your ribcage is going up, just correct it. Then coming forwards again. It might feel a little bit easier to keep your alignment coming forwards now. If that's the case, you might want to just go a little bit further, but that's okay. You're not going so far forwards that you fall over. And then when you're ready, come back to the midline. Let everything drop down, shake it all out, and just see if now, looking in the mirror, does it feel like it's a bit more intuitive to stand correctly? And that's the end of that practice for today.